Recorded live at Carolla One Studios with Adam Carolla. Recorded live at Carolla One Studios with Adam Carolla and board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist, Dr. Drew Pinsky. You're listening to The Adam and Dr. Drew Show.
Yeah, get it on, got to get it on. No choice but to get it on. Rudy Pavich is sitting in for Dr. Drew, who's in Canada shooting one of those Fox Challenge reality shows.
Is he like jumping out of a Black Hawk helicopter this time? He did that last time, right? Wasn't he doing the You Can't Survive the Army? Wasn't that the big reality show he was doing?
Yeah, he was doing, world's most extreme whatever.
Yeah.
He's doing some kind of version of that with the same kind of version of people. As he explains to me as I talk to him when he's in Canada. Same kind of fair to middling names, but nice people. Mm-hmm. You get to hang out with them, and you get to do shit that you wouldn't normally get to do.
Yeah, you and Tara Lipinski jumping out of into the ocean together. That's awesome.
Yeah, spotting Buttafuoco as he rappels down that zip line. That's right.
Come on, get happy!
All right, so let's see. So obviously, there's the whole Trump thing, which is a few days old, watching correspondence meeting. And I was trying to figure out, I kept watching. I have a little ADD for clips and timing and stuff. And I haven't heard anyone bring it up, but Oz Perlman was revealing, I think, his illusion as the shots were fired, which I hadn't really heard. So you have a woman who spoke earlier who appears to be an Asian woman of some descent who is a speaker, conservative or something, because I saw her at the beginning up and giving comments. So she's sitting next to Trump. Oz Perlman is revealing what's on the card, write something down and then put it in my pocket and don't let me see it. And then he's like doing the reveal, and I can tell it's the reveal because the woman of Asian descent is looking right at it going, oh my God, like she's reacting like someone pulled a rabbit out of the hat.
Clutching her Perlmans, if you will.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's excited. Then you got Melania and Trump, and especially Melania, looking forward and not reacting to Oz Perlman, all at the same time. So that it literally means the guy squeezed the trigger during the reveal. At the same time, the Asian lady is Ouija ba jing ba. Okay. Sorry, Chinese people. Can't do it. I can't do it. Japanese, I can do it. All right. So I don't know. Is there footage of this? Can we figure this? Is it literally the split second? Because it is. So she puts her. You got to go forward just about 10 seconds to kind of get into it a second here. But she goes, oh my God. It's like Melania doesn't even react to what's on
the card, yeah.
Right.
She's so engrossed with what's happening in the crowd because there's like a commotion going on.
Okay. Stop me if I'm wrong. Is that less than a second? And by the way, when people go, come on, less than a second, you watch a car race, you watch an F1 race or something, and there's a finish and the one guy finishes a second behind. He's 150 feet behind.
Sure.
Like a lot gets done in a second. The difference in the NFL between running a 4.340 and a 5.340 is the difference between you being in the league and you being on a sofa.
Yeah.
I mean, if you run a 5.340, you are an offensive tackle and you're over 300 pounds and you're over 6'6". And by the way, they don't like that time even with your size.
Yeah.
So like 1 second is a while. Now, she puts her hand over her mouth and like it literally happens simultaneously that the shots go off as a reel, which is basically, it's like when you're up on stage at a club, you know, and you're building, and right at the punch, you hear the blender fire up behind the bar. Like
somebody drops a tray drinks.
Like that is weird that he didn't get his reveal.
Yeah, it wasn't at the...
Now, I don't know how long he'd been building into that, but his bits are like, they take some setup.
Yeah.
You got to think of something. You're going to write something down. Don't show me what you wrote down. Then burn the piece of paper. Like, and then I'm going to pull the paper out. And poor Oz, like he literally didn't get, all he needed literally was 5 seconds of satisfaction.
Yeah.
Just the Trump nodding his head going, you're a warlock.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He needed literally... he didn't need 2 minutes. He needed 8 seconds.
Yeah.
8 seconds of appreciation.
When he was on the floor with Trump and they were staring at each other, do you think he whispered, "Was it your phone number on the piece of paper? Was it? It had to have been." Fuck.
Well, there's got to be volume somewhere, right? Is there sound?
Oh, of him? Yeah.
He's got to...
And Melania's not even looking at him. She's looking at the reaction of the woman next to her.
Right, but he's got to be saying something. Like, is this your...
Yeah, I'm surprised. The interview that I watched with him, I'm surprised he didn't reveal what that trick was. Like, he just basically, all he talked about was the trick and the reveal. He never said, I was trying to get the president's luggage code or something like that. Yeah.
The nuclear football code. Yeah, he looks up. So... He
looks so unimpressed by whatever Oz just did. He's like, yeah, great, whatever.
Trump is hearing it now, I think, and then looking forward. Yeah, Trump is...
He's still got his head cocked to the side, yeah.
Well, that's who he is.
Yeah.
He's got a nice light wire. He's got a nice detuned wiring, which is good.
Absolutely. When a bullet zips past your ear and your first instinct is to stand up and raise your hand.
Yeah.
Like right over here.
Yeah. So that timing was incredible because it was in 0.3 of a second.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
Simultaneous. And look at the look on his face, too. Like, you know, it's so insane when you see actual fear on the look of like people's faces, and that is the look of fear that Melania has. It's hard to watch.
Yeah. All right. So that happened. Then you wonder why this is happening, which is there's such a weird, there's a lot of disconnect in terms of reality in this country, which is nobody is claiming that people on the left are asking an assassin to shoot Donald Trump. The claim is you're calling him Hitlerian, dangerous, and he's going to destroy our country, which is de facto you asking someone to kill him, because that's what you would need to do if someone's going to destroy your country.
Yeah, Inglourious Bastards did a whole movie about this, you know?
Yes. So I don't know why they're always like acting surprised. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, because it's like you're calling him a fascist dictator that is destroying this country. And by the way, who's evil. So that then would make patriotic people would then pick up arms and do the patriotic thing. That's what people do. They made a Tom Cruise movie called Valkyrie, and someone was trying to blow up Adolf Hitler because that's what you would do if the guy was going to destroy the world. But I will play a clip of it. I don't know why. Your own Tim Walz to me is the most impressive of all the doofuses because they're like this weird thing where they're like, all right, we'll just play the clip and then we'll have a laugh.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism
That's
looks
Swalwell.
like.
Yeah.
Try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge component of fascism is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist nationalism.
This is you're now living
pause for a second. You know what's weird? they hate fascist dictators, but they like socialism, which is kind of like saying, I fucking hate oranges, but I love those little cutie those little tangerines. Like you go,
Yeah.
I thought no, they're orange, but they're smaller, but they kind of taste the same. You like some version, like socialism is a lot closer to this than free market systems are, which is weird. So, I mean, fascist, I don't know. We should look up fascist and socialist, but they're kind of, dark chocolate and milk chocolate. Like, it's kind of chocolate at the end of the day.
Sure.
They're not so far apart.
Yeah, your body breaks it down the same exact way. Yeah.
Fascism and socialism hit your liver about the same way. All right, sir, we'll keep playing it.
Against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge component of fascism, is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist nationalism.
We are now living in a fascist dictatorship.
Right. We are worried about potential
Hold on
rise
a
of
second.
fascism in this
Where I get to get super fat and talk shit about the fascist dictator all I want.
Yeah.
All day, and then I go eat some more, and then I go on another show. Man, is he running serpentine to the mailbox? Like, these people understand how fascism is supposed to work? We don't let fat dudes of color go on 9 talk shows and talk about it before they get put in a gulag.
Yeah. When I first saw that, I thought that was Kenan Thompson doing an SNL sketch of a guy who was on the Breakfast Club. It looks so ridiculous.
What if Einstein was morbidly obese and black? I think it would go a little something like this.
E equals MC fascism.
That's right. All right, now
We are now living in a fascist dictatorship.
country. We are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over this country as a fascist dictator.
When fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, "No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core."
Okay. Now, here's my thing about Trump, because I did Celebrity Apprentice. I did The Marriage Ref. I've done shows with him. Guys who usually build commercial buildings in Manhattan aren't normally of the fascist variety. Is it that he turned fascist on like his 73rd birthday? Like, when did he become fascist? Because it seemed like he was interested in accumulating wealth and nailing Euro trash.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of felt like what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's according to your guy, Tim Walz, he's fascist to his core. Like, he was always that way.
Well, as AOC pointed out, he finally got racism, bigotry, and nationalism on the same group text, and it all united together, and now he is a fascist.
Right. Now, I never get... Oh, by the way, what's the definition of both? Because I feel like they are much closer together than the free market is to either one of them.
Yeah.
When you're ready, you can tell me. You don't have to tell me now.
Well, socialist is the word the left used to unite the left, and fascism is the word they use to get the left angry at the right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the guy who is attempting to get a smaller government and deregulate things, I don't get why that falls under the heading of fascism. Like, here's fascism. That urinal that's in your, we'll look it up in a minute, that urinal that you used earlier today that has a sink above it. I tried to order that off Amazon to come to California so I could install it. They're not allowed to ship to California for some regulatory thing. It had to ship to Nevada, and then we had to pick it up. My kids' school got closed down. The parks got closed down. The beaches got closed down. They're trying to force a vaccination on everybody. They basically were trying to come up with travel papers. Essentially, had to show a vaccination card to get into restaurants and to work for the government, or anyone had more 100 employees. Like, you have your land burnt to the ground, and you'd like to begin clearing your land, but they won't let you back onto your land. That, to me, is fascism. Closing the borders, not fascism. Tariffs or trying to get rid of Iran's nuclear aspirations. I don't call that fascism. All right, so we have the actual whatever. Fascism is an extreme right-wing, authoritarian, and
ultra-nationalist
political ideology characterized by a dictator, leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, and a forcible suppression of opponents, prioritizing the state above individual rights. That's basically what I'm saying.
That's crazy that they have extreme right-wing. This is Google putting this out. Shouldn't it just be an extreme political stance or a position? Why would you have to say right-wing?
It's their own. Socialism is a political economic theory advocating that the community or the government, rather than individuals, should own and control the means of production. Right. But when the government controls everything, that's when we take the slide off into the abyss. But they're both saying government over individuals.
Yeah. What's crazy, if you had somebody who had never known anything about what is going on either side, and you gave them both of those definitions, you go, which one would you choose? And they would go socialism for sure. Okay, so over everything else, yeah, socialism way better than fascism. Okay, well, the side that is a socialist side is the one that's doing all of the harboring and putting restrictions on people.
Yes, and you need a fascist. Otherwise, the socialist is not going to work. Because at some point, people don't want the government to take their farm, and then we need the military.
Sure.
And then it turns into fascism. All right, so anyway, Trump did not do this in his first 5 years. Or he did it he didn't do it in his first 4 years, but now he's doing it in his second term, I guess. Is that what we're dealing with?
He was hanging on to the fascist card until 8 years into his presidency.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Quince this time of year always makes me rethink what I'm wearing. I'm trying to keep fewer things, but better ones, and that's why I keep coming back to Quince. Quince makes high-quality, everyday essentials. They use premium materials like 100% European linen, and they're insanely soft, flow-knit activewear fabric. The best part is their prices are 50 to 60% less than similar brands. Quince cuts out the middleman, so you're paying for quality, not brand markup. I never thought I'd say this, but I do love their linen pants. I wear them almost every night. I certainly wear them on stage a lot because they're very comfortable. Trust me, you're going to love them too. It's Quince, right, Daphne?
Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/ADS for free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. Go to QUINCE.com/ADS for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/ADS.
All right. So I don't know, Rudy, I'm rarely confused. I'm mostly know what's happening with humans, but I'm confused about a lot of humans. I get what the politicians are doing. I think they're just like when Kamala Harris, when she's doing her town hall with CNN and they go, "Do you think Donald Trump's a fascist?" She just goes, "Yes, I do," but she doesn't. She doesn't believe anything.
Buzzwords.
She doesn't believe anything. By the way, if she really thought that, she'd put on a TNT vest underneath her leisure suit, walk out on that stage, shake his hand, and pull the pin.
Sure.
I mean, that would be the patriotic thing to do. Instead, she's going to write a book and go on a tour, have some fun. By the way, and then somebody like Jimmy Carter's going to die, and they're all going to hang out and hobnob. Have Obama talking hoop and MMA. And Obama should have put on like an explosive underpants and gone and taken out the first row, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they
really believed it, yes.
Right, but they don't. Okay, so they don't believe it. which I have been saying for a million years. You know, when Chuck Schumer, whatever, Jim Crow 2.0 or whatever, they don't. He doesn't believe any of it. The reason, they don't believe any of it is because they just go right on to the next thing. Like they go, oh, January 6th, the greatest attempt, an insurrection. And they go, all right, what are we talking about now? Oh, something about race. Oh, no, we're on to billionaires now. What about race? No, we're on to the LGBT. Oh, yeah, no, okay, so we're talking about money? No, we're on to the trans. Oh, okay, we're going to give, what should I be outraged about now? Trans community. Okay, that's what we're talking about. They never circle back and try to fix anything. Mm-hmm. Gavin Newsom's very upset that black and brown people don't have access to checking accounts. That's 13 years ago. Where's the legislation? Where's the checking a B of A mobile that you're driving into the inner city? Like, what's going on? The answer is nothing. You don't give a fuck. You have no real concern about that. They don't. So Tim Walz and, you got Nancy Pelosi, 85 years old. You got Maxine Waters, 86, who may believe it because she's addled and she's fucking dumb. But then you got guys like Chuck Schumer. I mean, these guys were at these guys' weddings. Yeah. You know what I mean? They went to their daughters' weddings 15 years ago or whatever it is. They don't think that. They don't think it. They just say it. But young dude who listens to them gets a gun and does believe it. So the thing is like, this is all just kabuki theater for them, but they're poisoning young dudes who are believing them and then acting out on it. And then they go, I never told anyone to shoot anybody. Yes, you did. You poisoned that guy's brain. Yeah. That's what happened. All right. So, but the ones I can't figure out are the ones that are like older. And I never thought this was going to be a thing. Like old people were wise. They were sagely. They came down from the mountain with wisdom. Oh, sure. You know what I mean? Like the village elder. Mm-hmm. You'd seek out his advice because he was over 65, right? Yeah. I see a lot of people going full wackadoodle in their 70s, 80s.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look no further than Minnesota itself. I've told many people, especially my daughter, I said, hey, listen, at some point, somebody in our family who is well into their 70s is going to try to give you advice. Don't listen to anything they have to say. Yes. They've all lost their minds, especially like on the women's side of my family as they've all gotten older.
Yeah, well, as we always say, and when I say we, I mean me, men get nicer, women get crazier. That's the trajectory. Mm-hmm. Go to any high school reunion and you will see. Yeah. All right, so Molly Ringwald, who I met when she was 11, trying to think. Mm-hmm. Molly Ringwald must be 55. Let's see, 56. Yeah. 55, 56. Yeah. Let's see.
I just had this thought. Dudes, when they get a little bit older, they go through a midlife crisis. They get a Mustang, a red Mustang. Ladies, when they have a midlife crisis, get a red hairdo. Yeah. They go through and dye it, and they get the extra earrings. And
58. Sorry. Older than I thought. Andrew has to write Ringwald. He can't just write Molly. 58.
Well, you had to make sure you even knew which Molly you were talking about.
Molly Hemingway, the Fox contributor?
Yeah, it could have been your old dog. We don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
I'm sorry I'm so specific.
Yeah. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Chuck didn't even remember that campaign. There was a whole hair campaign with a hot chick going, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Mm-hmm. But that's a good gig to get commercial-wise. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what is your commercial? What is it, hemorrhoid cream? No. Mine's about hating me because I'm so aesthetically stunning.
In your adult diapers? That's no? Okay, all right. Just want to make sure.
So let's see. Molly's 58. I met Molly when she was probably 11, maybe 12. Maybe she was 12. 11. Yeah, 11. Mm-hmm. She lived down the street for me with her family.
She was at the political rally talking about fascism back in the 70s.
Now, I don't know what goes on at 58, but also the other part that's crazy to me is you live in this country. Nothing is happening to anybody. But here's her latest offering.
I don't spend a lot of time doing this, talking to you like this, unless I'm, I don't know,
like a jewel thief?
Recommending a foundation or or telling you to get your kids vaccinated against meningitis. But I feel like I can't stay silent, and neither should you. There's something horrible going on in our country right now. And we have one of the greatest countries in the world. And I've always been so proud to be an American. But right now, this is a fascist government. It's not becoming a fascist government. It is a fascist government.
All right, hold on a second.
And
what is more for them? Like, what's more wackadoodle? Their hatred for Trump, and I know you're going, well, what could be worse than that? They hate RFK Jr., and his whole thing is like, I don't want kids to get vaccinated who don't need the vaccinations because autism's gone up about 20,000% in the last 25 years. And I'd like to get the dyes out of the Cheetos, and I would like to start making school lunches healthier. And then they've gone full nut job banshee attack on him.
And it was all the stuff that they wanted 8.5 years ago, where they were like, let's get the chemicals out. Let's get these kids healthy. How do we bring down the childhood obesity epidemic? Well, there's a guy in office who can help take care of that, but he's not on the side that you want him to be on.
Right. And we hate Big Pharma. By the way, I will be a one-upper. I'll bring you back 50 years. My mom was talking about red dye number 7 and getting it out of stuff, and all the big pharmaceutical companies and how the junk food industry, and there was a lot of that talk back then. This guy who made his bones like suing Monsanto for poisoning the river where the indigenous people live is now target number 1. Were you guys like, Trump is big and he's blustery, and he comes out there and he starts demeaning folks from CNN and going, it's because it's from China and stuff like that. Like, I get it. He kind of baits them.
Yeah. Not
RFK Jr. was doing push-ups in jeans, wearing Keds, talking about eating clean. You know what I mean? And being strong and healthy. What? In a weird way, the RFK Jr. attack is even wackier than the Trump. The Trump is kind of low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, they look at him and go, look at this weirdo guy, like you said, working out in the jeans, but you think you are just as healthy, the people that are vegans and want to eat tofu and eat all this nonsense. It was like some of us look at you and go, you live an insane lifestyle. Why would you put that in your body?
Yes, and listen, the vax for COVID turned out to be bad and injure people. And I'll play a clip for that later. And all these Amish kids who do not get the scheduled vaccines also don't get all the syndromes that we all have now. So you explain it to me, but that's all that guy's trying to do. It's a weird one to attack. All right, let's hear what Molly has to say.
One of the greatest countries in the world, and I've always been so proud to be an American. But right now, this is a fascist government. It's not becoming a fascist government. It is a fascist government. And ICE is brutalizing people. And I don't care how you identify, if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, if you're independent, if you don't like to be political at all, it doesn't matter. You have to look at what kind of country you want to live in. And I don't think that I need to remind you, I'll just give a little history lesson here quick. But, if you look at what happened.
ICE brutalizing people. Are they brutalizing the nut jobs who fight them, or are they brutalizing the people they're trying to collect and deport? I'm trying to think who the number one is.
Yeah. The person that they are going after is never the one that makes the news, unfortunately. It's always the person in the street that's, throwing Molotov cocktails at them.
Right. All right. So they're brutalizing people. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Don't think that I need to remind you, just give a little history lesson here quick. But, if you look at what happened in France, where I lived for a few years in my 20s, they were taken over by the Nazis. They were invaded, they were taken over, and a lot of people collaborated. And then there were people that did not collaborate and were part of the resistance. Eventually, they got their country back, and those people who collaborated were found to be criminal. And that is what's going to happen. I mean, you should not support what is going on just because these are human beings, and we are human beings, and we cannot forget our humanity. But if you don't care about that, if you only care about yourself, then realize that you are going to be seen as a collaborationist.
Well, hold on a second.
Okay.
Looking out for number one. I don't think that makes me a Nazi war criminal. We got to go to Argentina, Rudy.
Yeah.
I'm in. I tend to think about myself more than others. So I don't know if I made that list or not.
So does everybody else. And I would imagine so does Molly.
Maybe that's why she films herself.
Could be it. All roads lead to narcissism, as you say.
That's what it is.
I always love the move where they go, we lived in one of the greatest countries. We had a great, we had it. Like, don't listen, it isn't or it isn't. It's good. This isn't a bad place.
All right, we'll play it out, sorry.
Collaborationist. Okay? And I don't think that anybody wants that. I don't think that anybody wants to be on the wrong side of history. So please, please use your voice.
All right, hold on a second. I wonder where she was at with COVID. Was she at no masks? They're not effective. This vax could be dangerous for kids. It's experimental and open to schools. Because that's the wrong side of history. Every single one of these people was on the wrong side of history when it came to locking kids in their home and giving them eating and mental disorders. So how can you get 10 minutes from COVID and then be lectured to about what side of history we should be on? And by the way, it's always, we don't know anything. It's like, okay, then you don't have to do Nazi-like enforcement for stuff you don't know about. You can be agnostic about it. That's always, I can always tell the lie. The person who's not lying is when you go, ivermectin, does it work? They go, I don't know, I'm not a doctor. But when they know it doesn't work.
And horse-based.
Well, when they know it doesn't work now, we're getting in the lie part. But all right, we'll play this out. Sorry.
These are children. These are children who are being taken away from their parents. These are mothers who are being killed. These are fathers. These are ICU nurses. These are people that
attack SUVs.
That are good people.
Oh.
That now their families have to grieve them for doing nothing except for standing up for what's right. For keeping women from being brutalized.
All right, pause it for a second. Another thing that's always funny, they can whip out the names of the two people that were killed in Minnesota. Every politician can. There's hundreds of people killed by illegals. You can't come up with one name because they never use them and they don't care. And I'm guessing there's no Molly Ringwald video about innocent people being stabbed on trains or folks that have been killed while jogging in parks by illegals. I'm guessing there's no outrage video.
Probably not a list on her nightstand next to that California king that she's making this video on out of her probably sweet-ass home that is 14,000 square feet.
All right, sorry, we'll play it out now.
For doing nothing except for standing up for what's right. For keeping women from being brutalized by these monsters. And they are monsters. Wow. They are human beings as well, but they have forgotten that they're human beings and they have become monsters. Please don't let yourself.
On. Are we talking about all ICE agents or people voted for Trump or who's the monster part?
Yeah, the people that support, no mask mandates, or those are the people that have forgotten who they are?
Yeah, ICE agents are monsters. Okay. I bet most of those guys per capita are married with kids.
Yeah.
Higher than your average stand-up comedian, let's say, statistically.
Oh, for sure. Also, when they were talking about these ICE agents at the airport and how they're standing around, they're doing nothing, all CNN did was talk about how big of a nuisance this was, simultaneously playing video of them being helpful and taking people's bags and helping them get them into bins. It was like, don't play the video of the thing that is contradicting what you are trying to push.
All right, we'll play it out. Sorry.
Become like that. Please remember your humanity. Think about your kids. Think about your grandkids.
Uh-oh.
Think about your sister and your brother. These are all people who have kids or fathers or mothers or aunts and uncles and people who love them. And we all have people that love us, and we love people.
All right.
I mean, I hope that we love people. I certainly do. Please do the right thing.
I know.
And stand up.
I think about myself.
And use your voice.
All right. Yeah. Use our voice. All right. Listen, we're talking about removing people that are in this country illegally. Like, Molly, when you went to France, did you just set up camp? I mean, just move there and
that was that?
Start selling hot dogs on the street, and that was fine, and you would be outraged if somebody said you were on a temporary visa or you weren't a permanent resident, or there was, I imagine there's a process.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just move to France and, well, probably now you can. You couldn't 30 years ago when she did it and just start hanging out. All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back after this.
Pluto TV has thousands of free movies and TV shows.
We're coming at you with everything we got.
This is the mindset. Free. This is the mantra. Free. This is the mindset. With movies like Pineapple Express, the entire Star Trek film franchise, and Gladiator, and TV shows like Survivor, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Ghosts, Pluto TV is always free. Huzzah! Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
All right. So, we were talking about, it's kind of an interesting thing. I think there was a tweet by a Fox contributor name, and I'll try to get the name down, Ricky Ardella. Probably puts out a lot of smart tweets, but the one that sort of caught my eye, by the way, you know what I do, Rudy?
Mm-hmm. Please.
I cruise the internet. I find people say basically the same shit I say, and then I go, this guy's a genius.
And why do they have 13 times more people following them than I do? God damn it.
I'm the genius. So he read, all right, so I'll read it to you. The White House Correspondents. Alleged shooter wasn't some nut job lurking on the fringes of society, forgotten by the system. He was a well-educated, credentialed, employed, and institutionally formed. That's what makes this so disturbing. At first glance, this doesn't look like a breakdown of the system. It looks more like the product of it. That's what I'm saying. Academia, media, and politics have helped build the moral permission structure. So this is not fringe anymore. This is how people think because they've been hit over the head with it, with media constantly, and all the dumb shit politicians who, are lying but don't know it. I don't know. The Molly Ringwalds of the world fall into kind of a middle ground of useful idiot. Like, I believe she's sincere. There's just a lot of dopes, especially in Hollywood, that just easily corruptible. And they go on to one thing and then the next thing. But the politicians know what's going on.
Sure.
They're just fighting.
Yeah, and when you say that kids, their opinions are not formed at a young age and media doesn't have anything to do with it, look no further than TikTok and why China said basically all of the content that these kids are going to ingest, it's all going to be STEM related, it's going to be math related, and they push out all the garbage to the American kids. And when Trump wanted to take care of that and wanted to get rid of it, they all went, it's because he's mean.
Right.
He's a meanie. No, he's not. He's smart. And he's trying to do exactly what China's doing, and that is bring up a good, younger population, a farm team of good kids.
Yeah, they're poisoning kids with their insane rhetoric, and I think they think that they're going to be hailed as a hero, as you would be hailed as a hero if you took Hitler out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're going. All right. I have another clip I want you to find, which I enjoy as well. I'm speaking to Andrew. I think there's a Kennedy one, but there's also a Johnson one talking about all-cause mortality and vaccines. Listen, all you who hate JFK Jr., this vaccine thing is a shit show. Anybody got vaccinated should pray they didn't get vaccinated. They all wish. There's nobody. Let's do it. I'll put it to you this way. I don't know anyone who's happy they got vaccinated if they got vaccinated. Now, maybe hindsight, maybe you wouldn't be alive. But this is kind of an interesting stat.
I think it was in that hearing he had a chart that he showed from the Commonwealth Fund saying that the VAERS, or the COVID injection saved 3 million lives in 2021 and 2022. Now, bear with me. It's relatively simple numbers, but you have to hang with me on this. In 2019, before the pandemic, there were 2.85 million deaths in America. So under 3 million, right? So the year of the pandemic, by the way, if that were to grow, just kind of, that number of deaths have been growing slowly because of population increase and also the aging of the population, to the point where last year should have been around 3 million deaths. Okay, it was slowly growing. Last year should have been about 3 million. So 2019, 2.85 million. The year of the pandemic, it shot up to 3.4. So obviously something was happening here, okay? Another 500,000 deaths. 2021 was the year of the vaccine, right? If it really was going to end the pandemic, you would think we'd come down back, start moving toward
back to the baseline,
toward that normalized baseline, We didn't. We went up to 3.5 million. The next year we came down a little bit to 3.3, but we're still way above the normalized rate of deaths. Okay, so again, 2.85 to 3.4 to 3.5 to 3.3. So they were claiming in this Commonwealth Fund study that the vaccine saved 3 million lives in both 2021 and 2022. So again, deaths were going up. It's way above the baseline. In order to have that be true, you'd have to assume we were going to have 5 million deaths per year in both 2021 and 2022. It's farcical. I mean, I don't need a empirical Bayesian, sophisticated mathematical analysis to just show there's no way the injection saved 3 million lives in 2021 and 2020. There's no way. There's no way. If you were old and vulnerable, the vaccine might have given you some protection where you didn't have a severe, so that's possible. I just don't know. There really have not been decent studies to prove that. You'll never have decent studies to prove that. But just the basic math disproves 3 million lives saved from the injection in the U.S. in 2021-22. It's farcical.
By the way, sometimes I play a fun game with myself. I imagine hearing this out of like Maxine Waters or Kamala Harris or AOC or the purple-haired old witch who's always yelling about raw milk or something. And I go, this is my problem with them. Like people go, will you disagree with them or they disagree with you? If they spoke in terms of numbers, statistics, and actual problems, I would tend to listen to them more. I just hear them yelling about shit and talking in a fake black voice. I never hear any let's figure it out. Mm-hmm. I never hear any that kind of talk.
Yeah, and anytime you do, those numbers are wrong. You know, I've told you many times, I've had this conversation. It still kills me that my friend Ricky is not here today. And I truly believe it was because of the vaccines and the boosters. And every time I bring this up to anybody in our circle, they shoot it down immediately. And I was like, well, he was a healthy guy who lived off the land in Wisconsin, him and his wife. They drank a little bit. They smoked a little bit of weed. And then all of a sudden one day his heart just stops. Well, what was the big difference between 2019 and 2021? He got himself filled with a bunch of vaccines.
How old was he?
He was about the same age as me, so probably he was 43 when he passed.
Wow.
So, and I said that I would definitely give the benefit of the doubt when the autopsy came back, unless it came back inconclusive. Mm-hmm. And it came back inconclusive. And I went, can anybody in our circle, please, for the life of me, at least attempt to maybe consider it was the vaccines?
Well,
and they all said no.
There were two major sort of fundamental logic flaws with COVID that people should have been able to digest, but they can't anymore because nobody lives on a farm. They're all sort of in the city in cubicles, and they're all on meds and serotonin reuptake inhibitors and energy drinks and gummies, edibles, and everyone's fucking brain is fried. Like they can't do an A, B, or C. There's two simple truths that would have benefited everyone. One is there's nothing you could have done to not get COVID. Everyone was acting like a paper mask or don't ride mass transit or wash your hands, or if you get equipment delivered to your house. Stern, I think, got delivered a bunch of radio equipment and quarantined it for like 2 weeks. Like, you don't need to quarantine.
Sprayed it down?
Probably, and then actually physically quarantined a box filled with styrofoam, right, in a transmitter.
Sure.
So all of the stuff that people did, and they still got it. And some people were like, I know where I got it. I went to that Tony concert. Other people were like, I did everything right. I never left the house. I always wore a mask. I didn't do anything. I wiped everything down, and I got it. I remember Bean from Kevin and Bean was explaining to me that he did everything. And Bean is kind of, I don't know, germaphobe, eccentric, but he's a guy that wouldn't have gone to a concert and gotten a mosh pit during COVID. He did everything right, and he got it. So the people that were doing everything right were getting it. That's number one, which means not avoidable for you. So a simple lesson is you masked up, you paroled down, you socially isolated, and you did everything, and you got it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 30 million of those stories about you doing everything right, which now the message is, you're going to get it or you're not going to get it. That's the message. So go about your fucking life.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two is if you don't need the vax, you shouldn't have got the vax. It was pretty plainly simple early that young, healthy folk did not need the vax. So with those two pieces of information, you should have sailed through COVID. But they weren't going to do that. They weren't going to let you do it. They were going to lock down the schools and lock down the beaches and then make sure you had a vax to get into restaurants and to go to airports and to travel. So all of them who are now calling Trump a dictator were the ones who wanted you fired from your job as a fireman if you were 30 and healthy and did not see getting experimental vaccination.
It felt so powerful over you when they finally made you get that vaccine. You know, I was watching the Minnesota Wild playoff hockey game the other day. They cut to a guy in the crowd who was wearing a Wild jersey, but he also had a mask on.
Mm-hmm.
And she, Molly Ringwald's talking about humanity.
Goalie mask from the 70s
he had a
with
goalie
like
mask.
a cobra on it?
Yeah, but he had an actual like N95 over the goalie mask. Yes, but he was wearing a mask, like a face mask, N95, and I thought that's the humanity is the crowd doesn't look at that guy and go, dipshit, take it off. It doesn't work. If it was the other way around and it was a crowd filled with people in those masks and one guy walked in without that mask on, they would have tossed his ass right out of the arena.
I didn't want professional tennis players participating in the U.S. Open, which that's the height. Okay, just admit you were wrong, everyone. Yeah. Just admit you were wrong. I was watching the Hulk Hogan pick.
Yeah.
4-part series, whatever. It's all good. Love it all. And like something we don't talk about, but we should be talking about it, but no one ever really talks about it, is it's always like a lot of haves and have-nots, and people, you know, they just want to step up, but they don't want to hand out, but they need help, you know, because everyone's struggling and all that kind of stuff. And it's like Hulk Hogan has a motor, and you can just watch the 4-part series and you can just see the guy's motivated. Like he's just motivated, and he's motivated physically, like when you see him in the ring, like literally the expression of energy after he wins is sort of jumping up and down and like throwing his hands around and going as like bananas as you can. So, you know, that's part of the act. But then there's the behind the scenes part where he's practicing and working out, and you know, he's motivated, you know? And I don't know anyone with a real high capacity motor that's struggling. They all seem to figure it out because they have a big motor. There's a motor problem in this country. It's not a rich versus poor problem. It's like, it's a fucking motor problem, and nobody wants to ever talk about it. First off, young dudes move like fucking molasses. They just fucking on a cold day. Like they're all like, something's going on. Microplastics. I don't know. Too much weed. Whatever. Coddled. Phones. Porn. I mean, it's probably a combination of about 80 things. But people who have a motor fucking move, and then they get shit done, and then there's everybody else. And you can overcome any societal anything. Like when you do that thing where it's, you know, it's harder for women to get ahead in a corporate setting, you know, or as a man of color, your motor will blow they'll blow that shit all out of the water. Even there's people like disabilities or missing a limb or have some sort of Epstein-Barr or something. If you've got a fucking motor, you will crush all of the naysayers and all of the whatevers. But if you don't have a motor, then there's no amount of goodwill or government intervention that's ever going to fucking work. And I studied my family, and none of them ever worked a Saturday in their entire life. And I was thinking about working almost all Saturdays for me. And then I was like, how come none of them ever? Because they had no motor. And the reason when my parents died, they left me nothing is because they never had a fucking motor. The people that have motors will have things to leave behind. And by the way, it doesn't have to be millions of dollars in Bitcoin. It can be a fucking motorcycle and dune buggy and a hunting cabin or something. They had something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my dad was never around, but the one thing he gave me was creativity. I will say that was the only thing that he actually gave me. And when you talk about
your dad was creative,
super creative, great. Like that guy could sit down at a potter's wheel and make you like an entire tea set in an afternoon. It was beautiful. Like you could buy it out of a store. He was a great guitar player. He was really good creatively. He just couldn't get his shit together, and he was an addict on top of it. So you add those two things in with not being able to hold down a job because of your addiction, and you got basically a shitless layabout is what he turns into. But talking about the motor stuff, I was at a comedy club last weekend. There was a kid in the back who was the food runner. Nice kid. I saw him in the back of in the kitchen area on my way to the green room. And he said, "Hey man, are you the comic?" I said, "Yeah, I'm one of them." And he goes, "Oh, great, man. Are you a comic?" He said, "Yeah, I'm a comic too, man." He's like, "Oh, you're working here?" "Yeah, I work here." "It's great." "Oh, wow. Working here at the club? That must be awesome." "Yeah, it's great." 3 days we were at that club. We did a total of 5 shows. Every time I walked into the kitchen, that guy was sitting on his phone on a chair in the back of the room, not watching the comics, not being like, "Hey, what else more can I do? Hey, do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? Can I run?" Never. And I just thought, well, we're going to come back here in 10 years and I'll still see you sitting on that goddamn chair, dude.
Yeah. So there's definitely a thing going on with young men, and it could be like, look, it's not like, oh, they're lazy. There's something biological happening, and there's also sort of a spiritual thing happening, and it's a combination of like 7 probably contributing factors.
Yeah, we now live in a society where everything is easy. It's not hard anymore.
Yeah, but then there's a microplastics part of this too, because how do you account for low sperm counts and things like that? But if you have a motor and you look at young Hulk Hogan, he's out with a motor. And by the way, boy, you used to be able to parent differently back then. His dad was like, hey, Hulk, you want to be a wrestler? Yeah, don't come home. Like, that's how.
You like playing that bass guitar? Go sleep in a trailer.
Yes,
hippie.
like literally, like you do what I say or you go sleep somewhere else, which is awesome.
Yeah.
He used to be able to do that kind of stuff.
And he never gave it up. Like well into his 70s, he was still out there hawking beer, and I'm going to put my face on the side of the can, and I'm going to be that guy. And it never goes away if you got it.
We talking about my dad now or
Yes.
Hulk?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Jim Carolla.
Yeah, Jim Carolla's
Right.
real American beer.
Yeah, or Jimmy Carter's brother had beer. Did you
Get
know
out.
that?
Really? I didn't know that.
You're just too young to have missed the Billy Beer. I think we can look it up.
Beer.
Yeah, Billy Carter had a brother that was out of a sitcom. He was like
Jimmy Carter had a brother named Billy. You said
sorry,
Billy Carter. Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
Jimmy Carter had a brother named Billy Carter. And Billy Carter was what it was like there's Matthew McConaughey and then his brother Rooster.
Looks like John Candy. Look at that guy.
Yeah. So Rooster McConaughey is the real live out of control version of Matthew McConaughey, right? And Billy Carter was that guy.
Love this guy.
And he had Billy Beer, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I think if you did that to Clinton, Clinton would just have you killed, I'm assuming. Like if his brother started showing up drunk to pressers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he got drunk off of Billy Beer and smashed his car into a tree. We don't know how it happened.
But Billy Carter, I mean, Jimmy Carter lived to like 101. Billy Carter must not have seen his 75th birthday. And they had the same genes, you know what I mean? So like one guy liked to party. Oh, Roger Clinton. I forgot about Roger Clinton. That's right. When did Billy Carter die? We can figure that out. So the point is Hulk Hogan had a fucking motor. He did shit. He didn't just hang out waiting for people to tell him what to do and then go back and stare at his phone in the back of the kitchen. He fucking had a motor. And we talk about like who you know and nepotism and head starts and growing up on the wrong side of the tracks. We never talk about motor. The motor is going to cure everything. Motor cures all.
Yeah.
And he died in 88. He died 30 years before his brother. I mean, more than 30 years before his brother.
Yeah.
So he liked to party, I guess. So it was like 12. Yeah, I mean, he died more than 35, 37 years before his brother. There's a study or an interesting story that I saw that I always equate to this, but no one cares. But I haven't mentioned it in a while, so I will. It bothered me that when they had the kind of drug-sniffing dogs or the dogs at the airport, the dogs that sniffed out things, I would see all different breeds of dogs, and they would use all different breeds of dogs to sniff things out. I mean, there's bloodhounds, but when it comes to just like sniffing out stuff that's coming across the border, they would use all different dogs. And I saw different breeds, and I saw a story of it on it once on one of those 2020 Friday night news shows or something, and I was watching it. And the guy was going, yeah, we go get all different kinds of dogs, and we get them from the pound, and we just train them up. And I was like, oh, but isn't there one dog better than the other dog for sniffing stuff out? And they're like, we get the enthusiastic dog. So we go to the pound, and some dogs are just sleeping in the corner, and they look up at you, and they go back to sleep. And then other dogs are yapping and bouncing around and up on their feet. And it goes, those are the dogs we take.
Yeah.
Because they're going to do it. It's not the breed, it's the energy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think humans are kind of that way, too. Like, I'd rather have the energetic ones.
Yeah. There's a saying, like in stand-up, where they say this business does not promote talent. It promotes hard work, and it promotes risk. And it really does that crosses the board for everything in life, not even just for stand-up. It is everything in life. If you can show up a little bit before everybody and leave a little after everybody and get shit done in between, man, that is a recipe for success.
So, on another subject, I was at the Whole Foods in Malibu, which sounds...
Hoity-damn-toity. Look at you, Carolla. You made it.
It sort of sounds like Ted Nugent is threatening you. Like he can go like, well, I'm out hunting and bow hunting and cleaning, making venison steaks. You're up the goddamn Whole Foods in Malibu with your gay friends.
Yeah,
you know, like
I'm stuffing an elk and you're stuffing your face, you fat bastard.
Right. But I was at the Whole Foods in Malibu, and I fucking hate all these miniature little tomatoes. I didn't like the grape tomatoes or the mini tomatoes or whatever they were back in the day, and now there's 15 different strains of them, and they all suck. A lot of people say they like them, but they don't. They just last long, so you can keep in the fridge for like 3 months, and they look good. But they're not a fucking Roma tomato or a beefsteak tomato. They're not good. They just look nice. So it kind of fooled chicks into it. But, and I don't know, and Andrew, the only smart thing he's ever said in his life is he doesn't like those fucking mini tomatoes. That's the only time we've ever agreed on anything, ever, is he doesn't like those little, well, what did they call them 25 years ago? Were they like grape tomatoes?
Yeah, grape tomatoes, baby tomatoes.
They're fucking horrible. Now there's like 30 different kinds, and they've been pushing it. Now the little grape ones, I didn't like them because the skin was sour,
weird,
and it was tough, and it was just full of pus. And I was like, why is this preferable to a Roma tomato? I don't get it. Like, I want a big slab of tomato on my burger. I don't want this fucking gristly, hard, sour little thing. They must last. A beefsteak tomato doesn't last that long. These things must last 10 times as long. But it's the names. I was at the market and I was looking at these things, and when you hear the name, this is how you know they're full of shit. This is how you know they're lying. And by the way, I said it a million before. All the people and all the organizations that are ripping everyone off now are always like First Step Forward Learning Center and Angel Hearts.
Healthy for All Health.
Yeah, just all the bullshit titles to try to steal money from you. Angel Sweet is the name of the first one I came up upon. And by the way, it's a little fucking red, hard BB that tastes like shit and doesn't even resemble the flavor. If you close your eyes, you wouldn't know you're eating a tomato.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's a fucking rock hard little, it's a kidney stone.
Yeah.
That they named Angel Sweet so dumb chicks would put it on their fucking salads and ruin the fucking salad.
Yeah, if you suck on stage, those are the tomatoes you don't want to get hit with. They'll take
They'll
an
put
eye
a hole
out.
in you. Yeah, you'll bleed out. Now, what's the next one called? Right next to it.
That's great.
Sugar bombs. Flavor rocks. Yeah, except for you don't have any fucking flavor. You're useless. You're useless. And you go look through, I think I even did one more. When you go look through you go online and look for these things, they all have like Angel Breath and Sweetie Peas and Little Nummy Tums.
Nummy Tums.
Wild Wonders. Gourmet Medley. It's a wild wonder of shitty fucking tomatoes that were never broken, but that last long because they have a leathery, hard, sour skin on them.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your euphemistic bullshit. And by the way, I don't trust y'all. They do the same with apples. Now listen to me. I know people like apples. Apples are fine, but they're not a papaya or mango or a nectarine. That's fucking watermelon. They're not any of that. They're just kind of the baseline. Look, you know what the apple is? It's the Toyota Camry of fruit. It'll get you to work and back. Fine.
The Red Delicious. Let's not lump Honeycrisp into this group.
Honeycrisp. All the names. All the names. You know what? But then there's a nectarine. Well, that's just called nectarine. That sounds like the name of a black kid with a learning syndrome or something.
Yeah. An apostrophe ectarine.
Right.
Yeah,
that sounds like a chick set behind you in the 9th grade. Okay. No euphemistic title for the one that fucking does it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no First Steps Forward Learning Center. There's none of the little honey, angel, heaven, nothing. There's no bullshit. Banana?
Yeah.
Banana.
Yeah.
No fucking names. No euphemistic bullshit. Listen, I'm telling you, the euphemistic bullshit is an extension. That's all Kamala Harris was, is I dream of a world where everybody has a seat at the table. More fucking bullshit titles that do fucking nothing, but with a subpar product.
Sure.
The product is subpar. The tomatoes that work are fine. You guys brought up a bunch of shitty tomatoes that nobody fucking wants, and you try to sell them to dumb women with dumb euphemistic titles. That's what's going on. And I was at a batting cage once with Jimmy. And because when we were done with doing radio, like, you know how it is, like noon.
Was it called like Sweet Swings Batting Cages or anything? No. Didn't have a nice euphemistic name?
No, those places are just called Johnny's Batting Cage because people want to go to the batting cage. We don't need to fool you into going to the batting cage. People want to fucking take some swings, right? So Jimmy and I, back when, like, you know, it was a more innocent time, but we would finish work at like noon, and in morning radio, you're done. I mean, Jimmy got there 4 a.m. He's done now at noon. And we go, let's go to the batting cage on a Tuesday, because what the fuck? Where else are we going? And we went to the batting cage, the one in Sherman Oaks, and we went to the arcade, and the arcade had a video game, and it was called Violence Fight. And the reason it was called Violence Fight is it was made in China, and somebody said, what would be a good English name for this? And that's why you get all the fluffy when the Somalis and the Armos are opening. That's why you get Angel Soft Learning Center, stuff like that. They take stupid names that they go, American, because Violence Fight makes sense if you don't speak English. You go, just look up, it's an action. Yeah,
that's it there, huh?
Yeah,
wow.
It's an action video game where people kick ass, but we want to sell it to the round eye. So what do? Well, violence, that's good. Fight, all right, put them together. They just don't know we don't talk that way.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to call things exactly what they are. You don't need to get cute. Like every time I see a movie and it's, you know, it's called whatever it is. It's called like protagonist. You're like, okay, great. But then if you really call it what it is, if you were to just say, guy is trying to get his daughter back, I'd watch that movie much more than I would watch Protagonist. Just tell me what it is.
This is why I love the toaster oven, Rudy.
It's exactly what it does. It's
right there.
It's right in the name.
The title. What's it do?
Yeah.
It's an oven that does some toasting.
It does toasting. Yeah, that's all it is. That's all you need. Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back after this. Home Serve. Thanks to Home Serve for sponsoring this episode. Owning a home is amazing until pipe bursts and the costs hit hard and fast, and that's where Home Serve comes in. Regular homeowners insurance usually doesn't cover a lot of the day-to-day wear and tear. It's super simple. Choose a plan for your needs and budget, and when something on your plan goes wrong, just call their 24/7 hotline and start the repair process. It's like a subscription for your home. For as little as $4.99 a month, they've got your back. This has made repairs super convenient for me, and I know you're going to love it too. Am I right, Daphne?
Help protect your home systems and your wallet with HomeServe Against Covered Repairs. Plans start at just $4.99 a month. Go to homeserve.com to find the plan that's right for you. That's homeserve.com. Not available everywhere. Most plans range between $4.99 to $11.99 a month your first year. Terms apply on covered repairs.
Ugh, tomatoes. Chicks will argue for those tomatoes, but the chicks are arguing for the aesthetic and the name. They're not really arguing for the flavor. And by the way, restaurants, even steakhouses stuff, have all copped out and started putting these on salad instead of regular tomato.
Yeah.
Which fucking sucks now.
Yeah.
And I ordered like burrata cheese, where you get the burrata and the big wheel of beefsteak, and it came with these fucking little hard bitches.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the thing is, when you bite into one and it pops, and then you get like the mushy stuff. I'm like, that's
pus.
That's why I don't like Gushers. That's why I don't like the candy. I hate. Just hand me a Snickers bar.
Yes, and not only, but it's not just that, because they're cutting them in half and throwing them on. It's just a chewy, little sour sort of It's a non-player.
Yeah,
it has no business in a fucking salad.
Slice
Worthless.
Slice of rum. With that salt and pepper. That's all you need. It's the best, isn't it? It's the best.
No, I'll tell you what the best is. You get burrata cheese, then you get a nice big fat fucking couple of wheels of beefsteak tomato. I'm talking as big around as that coaster and 3/8 thick, and you put that down on the plate. Little salt, little pepper, little bit of olive oil, little bit of balsamic vinegar, and you're fucking done.
Blow the doors off that place.
Those little fucking BBs are for shit.
Yep. I will sugar bomb that toilet later. I can't wait.
That is a fucking mess. You know what it is? It's this generation's passion fruit iced tea. It's like, we never asked for it. We never fucking wanted it. Nobody wants iced tea, wants passion fruit, and nobody wants tomatoes, want these little fucking BBs. But they're cheaper. They got a good name. Passion fruit and sweet little sugar bombs. They fool dumb people, and the restaurant pushes it on you.
Yeah, at some point they should really try to look at history and go, Pepsi tried this with crystal clear Pepsi, and look where that is these days. People ain't drinking that. We need something that we can hang our hats on, and it's not going to be passion fruit iced tea.
All right, so we hate little tomatoes. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to bring one of those caliper things that they use when they're crab fishing.
Oh, I thought you meant like a measuring. Yeah, you measure the length. Yeah.
They just have a template thing.
Oh, sure.
And I'd just sit in the restaurant and I'd go, this is my tomato size. If this thing's too, I got to throw it back.
Oh, sure.
It's too small.
Yeah, too small, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try to fit it in this woman's mouth. If it can go into her mouth, we throw it back. It's not big enough yet.
Right.
Yeah.
This is wrist rocket material. This ain't eat material.
Yeah, they should sell those things to children and just let them ping them off the side of vehicles. Because if you hit a vehicle with an apple, that guy's stopping. You hit a vehicle with one of those little tomatoes, it might not make as big of a sound, but it'll leave a dent.
We used to have green walnuts on a crazy tree, and we used to fire those out of a wrist rocket.
Yeah, I had a black walnut tree in my yard that just, coming out of literally out of the slingshot, they would slice right past your hand. You could feel the wind off it. It felt so good.
Do you have a wrist rocket?
Yeah, so I had the wrist rocket, and then my grandfather had the old school Y stick. Maybe it was just it was almost like Dennis the Menace style.
Yeah.
And he was the first one that gave one to me. And then when somebody saw that I had one of those old school ones, they were like, we gotta bump you up. So they gave me, it's got the Y stick, but then it's got the thing that comes around, it's got the brace that goes in the forearm.
A wrist rocket.
It's a wrist rocket, yeah. And that's when the trouble really started around Hibbing, Minnesota.
Wrist rocket was a fucking weapon, and I used to try to make slingshots. Like, you'd have to find the branch with the Y in it, and you'd have to cut it, like skin it, and whittle it down and put the notches in it. And it never quite worked out, but the wrist rocket was killer, man.
Yeah. You ever in school, we used to take a rubber band and we'd hold it on our thumb and our pointer finger, and we'd run it across, and then you'd take a piece of paper, like you would roll it up, and then you would fold it like this, and you'd stick it in between that thing, and you would pull it back, and when you let that thing fly, you'd hit somebody right in the ass, and you could hear it down the hallway just...
I think we used to do that with paper clips.
Really? Yeah, because we just had pieces of paper.
You could open a paper clip a little and pull it back.
Oh,
and do
really?
The same. Oh, yeah. You can get that out of a paper clip. And also, people used to do something in school called gleeking.
Yeah, through the
when
front
did that
teeth?
happen?
Yeah.
Under the tongue.
Gross.
They go like, ugh. Like this weird gland would shoot weird saliva out.
Yeah. I was always, because I chewed a lot when I was a kid, like 12 years old in Minnesota. We grew up on Copenhagen and, Kodiak. And then as I got older, I got rid of it. But I noticed recently, I still, every once in a while, get the habit. And I'm just like, I'll be walking down the street. I'll take a walk at night, and I'll realize I've spat like 15 times on this walk for no reason.
Really?
Yeah, you really got to hold it in because it is a disgusting habit. So gross.
I don't know how to loogie, by the way. I had friends that
Really?
loogied. I can't. I didn't have the mucus.
Oh, is it because of the deviated septum or what?
other people would summon a fucking big oyster up, and I couldn't do it. And it was a weapon with my friends.
What about the guys that could hang it about 3 feet from the ground and then suck it back in? You ever seen those dudes? Oh yeah. Gross, man. Too much. It's a great skill to have, but
important skill to have.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. The next thing, the San Francisco BART thing. I don't know if I think I highlighted something, but it's kind of the reason I bring it up is there is a problem in this country, and now we listened to Molly Ringwald on the last show, but there's a bigger problem than even what Molly's tapped into, which is the solution for problems, which is on the left, is a weird way to find a solution. So, meaning, most of it and a lot of it is changing the names of things, which is weird. So you go, we have homeless people. These are unhoused neighbors. Mm-hmm. All right, problem solved. You know, like first things first, changing a name to Honey Angel Tomato or Violence Fight or whatever, Maximum Smart Learning Center or something like that. Yeah. It doesn't make any product come out at all. It's just a fucking name.
Yeah.
I mean, you Chuck could enter the UFC with the nickname the Defenestrator or something like that, but it doesn't mean he's not going to get beat by a guy named Glenn with no nickname who just happens to be good at what he does.
Yeah.
So there's a weird thing with naming. That's the first thing they do. The second thing they do is this approach to problem solving, which is there are too many people ripping off too many Californians with too many hospice care places. That's a big problem. Well, don't look into it, and then it won't be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that with everything, which is a weird thing. Like they go, there's too many black men in prison. Well, don't arrest them. Okay. Better yet, get rid of the cops.
Yeah.
Then we won't have this problem with too many black guys in prison.
Yeah.
And they'll literally do it. They'll go, there's a lot of black and brown kids that aren't doing math at grade level. Get rid of the test scores or make them different for those guys, like lower them for those guys. Not enough are getting into UCLA. Well, push them into UCLA, throw some Asians out. Yeah, but their test scores aren't. Well, lower the stupid test score for them so we can get them in. So it's a bizarre. I always tell everyone, it's like your car's not running right and it's gummed up and the carburetors need to be rejetted and everything else, and it's maxing out at 35 miles an hour. So you're going along the freeway. Instead of overhauling the engine, you just break the glass on the speedometer and you point the arrow up to 70 and you go, fix the problem, because I don't want to deal with pulling the engine apart, right? So that is kind of their approach to things. And they do it like, well, there's too many guys, you know, there's people shooting up and drug deals. Well, give them the fentanyl and give them the needles then. Like everything is this bizarre way of you going, you got like a molar that's impacted and you got some wisdom teeth that need to come out and you got a few cavities. Really? Or you can not take an x-ray and I can get about my life.
Sure.
Right. So it's all kind of about punishing, you know, kids are morbidly obese. We're going to give them some body positive name and then yell at people who say anything about their weight. Like it is a way of approaching a problem that is patently insane and could never come close to solving the problem. And the BART, what I allude to is BART, which is the Bay Area Transit stuff, is having a problem with crime on their transit system. And it's caused by mostly all black kids, black males. So did you find that tweet that I liked? I'm not sure if we got into it or not. So they basically instituted a policy of we're not going to report or show you who to look out for when you go to the BART station at night, who's been pushing people onto the tracks or robbing them, because then you'll start thinking black people do this, and then that'll be racist.
And that's the truth, but it is right. Yeah, they say it's
we're not going to share it with you.
Yeah,
and then that's going to solve the problem of young black dudes beating on people at the BART station, which is the. But the reason I like to show it is because it's a perfect example. San Francisco Transit, we refuse to release crime surveillance videos because it will make people racist. Releasing videos would create a racial bias in the riders against minorities on the trains. Now, my argument is if you got a problem with a specific community, which was my argument with Gavin Newsom, if you got a problem with black and brown people and access to checking accounts, we need to look specifically into that community. We need to, instead of broaden it out, we need to really drill down on why is that community committing a disproportionate amount of crime.
Yeah, there's a reason why they were looking for gold in San Francisco and not doing it in Ohio, because it was in San Francisco. So look at the people that are causing the problems. You know, why are you looking elsewhere? You don't need to look elsewhere.
Right. So we see the mugshot. San Francisco stopped releasing the mugshots to combat racial bias. But again, it's like I'm going to get rid of scales to get rid of obesity.
Yeah.
This is their motive, but it's their motive with everything.
Sure.
And the motive is like, don't do any audits because we don't want to know what the news is, and don't do any tests, and just don't arrest black people. Oh, and by the way, if you do arrest white people, count them as black people so we can pad our argument. Like, whatever you're doing, it's everything but what would work.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I want to know what the plan is.
It seems like the only time this ever worked is when COVID numbers were rising and somebody said, well, what do you think about the numbers rising, tests going up, positive tests? And Trump said, stop testing. It was like, yeah, because people aren't sick. They're not sick, so why do you keep testing people? Numbers are obviously going to go up. If you're not feeling any symptoms, why are you taking a test?
Oh, there was that whole clip that I saw where they went, listen, if you test someone and it comes up negative, just go ahead and check them as positive anyway. Like, that's what hospitals were doing. Yes. All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back after this.
Pluto TV has thousands of free movies and TV shows.
We're coming at you with everything we got.
This is the mindset. Free. This is the mantra. Free. This is the mindset. With movies like Pineapple Express, the entire Star Trek film franchise, and Gladiator, and TV shows like Survivor, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Ghosts, Pluto TV is always free. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
All right. So, you brought up COVID. Oh, Adam Carolla's tomato gauge. This AI is amazing.
Finally, a simple way to tell if your tomatoes are too small for your salad. That's great.
I was, I don't know, you have our movie poster there? I was laughing over the weekend because we were doing Beat It Out, and Chewy was in here taking Jay Moore's place, Justin Ibarra, and I was doing one of my made-up movies, but I was actually taking it kind of serious this time, and it was a movie that I made up a long time ago called Rings of Honor, but it was... terrorists had attacked the training center in Golden, Colorado, the U.S. training center, and they had to fight. They had to fight back, but everyone had to use their own skill. But does AI come up with the slug line?
Oh, wow.
What is the slug line on this? Sorry, I can't read it from here.
You two are comics. You should not tell them that AI is coming up with the slug line.
Yeah, because that's much better than anything. What is it? They came... Sorry, I can't read it from here.
Terrorists took the training center. The athletes took a stand.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. So,
They came to destroy. They'll learn what champions are made of.
All right. Well, that's not that smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. This is but the working title was Sugar Bombs, I heard. So that's what they were going with originally.
I want to get the female crowd in there.
Yeah. Sometimes you look at like the changing of names, and my daughter does this too, where she will say, she'll say something like, oh, Dad, we don't call it, whatever. We don't call it like making out. We don't call it necking or anything like that. We call it, she used a word the other day and it made me just go, I'd much rather have you make out with a guy. She said something like, we're expressing some, I can't remember the name of it, but it was so funny where I was just like, I'd rather just have you say that you were just making out with him in the back of a car. I don't need you to give me some weird sort of cutesy name for it.
No, I know. They go nuts. There was a guy, there's that clip, Andrew, I don't know if you saw it, but there was a guy who was in his 50s or 60s, and there was some hearing, and the one guy just said illegal aliens or something like that, and the other guy completely spazzed out. And it's like, I don't fucking know. First off, I don't know what the naming of things does for you or how it gets you 1 inch closer to the finish line. Like whatever there's a problem, it's homeless or it's the unhoused or it's whatever you want to call it, but it's there and we're arguing constantly over what we're calling it, which is, by the way, that's an action and a tactic that someone would do if they didn't have any answers and we're trying to just string it out.
It also makes you think that the problem is solved a little bit because George Carlin's old bit about taking the word shell shock and turning it into post-traumatic stress disorder, it lessened the amount of coverage that doctors gave to shell shock and started calling it PTSD, and maybe a lot of those soldiers would have gotten the help they needed had they continued to call it shell shock.
Huh. I didn't remember that George Carlin bit.
Yeah.
All right, you don't have to look for that. It was something that I saw a few weeks ago, and it kind of made the rounds, but I don't, if it ain't there, it ain't there. But that's fine. There was, you can have the Katie Porter thing where she's talking to the bankers.
Also, what are you doing with that tomato gauge when there's no tomatoes in it, Ace? There was a couple of holes.
We can use them for other things?
There's a couple of holes in there. I was wondering if you were measuring anything else around the house.
Well, my my whole dick measuring riff, right? Or maybe you don't.
Which one?
Maybe it's time.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Enlighten me.
Chuck probably hasn't heard it in a while. I don't know if Andrew's ever heard my dick measure. Okay, here's what I forget about everything else we're doing. Let's listen to me. I would like to know who has the biggest hog in America. Now, here's the parameters. People go length, width. How do you figure it out? It is simply water displacement.
Okay.
You get lowered into a graduated cylinder, and it's how much water you displace. Whose unit is displacing the most water? Now, I have to do it scientifically. You have to lay on a plate of stainless steel with a hole in it, and it will then be lowered until the stainless steel touches the top of the graduated cylinder.
Okay.
And then we'll lift you back out, and it's how much water is displaced. We'll see it go down to the thing.
Okay.
Every year, almost on the 4th of July, like the Coney Island hot dog eating competition.
Day before,
we decide who has the biggest hog in America. Now, that person then gets a windbreaker with number 1 emblazoned on it, and you're basically Evel Knievel for the whole year. Now, people go, well, what about next year? Well, next year, a whole bunch of 17-year-olds turn 18. Every year, there's a whole new crop of potential guys with bigger cocks, because I'm not a weirdo. I don't do it when you're 13 or 14.
Yeah.
But as you turn 18, then it's kind of like, it's like the draft. You're just compelled to do it.
Sure.
Now, the guys, anybody who's in the top 100 is never paying for a drink again in their life, because they're wearing that windbreaker into the bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oil changes,
ringing
it's all
a
for
bell, and they're just bottomless mimosas. You are the fucking. And if you crack the top 10, you're going to be on Oprah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're doing the rounds.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yep.
You're being interviewed on Sports Center.
Her book club.
Yeah, you're everywhere. Number 1. Now, the big question is, do you hang on to your number 1 ranking as a new crop of 17-year-olds turn 18, which is several million dudes?
Sure.
Here's the downside. You're going to get a number assigned to you. And that number is not going to be how much water you displace. That number is going to be your ranking. And if you go, well, all right, there's 170 million males, and let's just go ahead and say 50 million of them are under 18.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're left with 120 million.
120 million?
Somebody's going to be last.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting a number. And you, on that one day of the year, have to wear the windbreaker as well.
Sure.
I don't care if you don't like your number.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could, look, let's face it, if you were anywhere in the hundreds of thousands, you'd be doing pretty good.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But what you don't want is when you're in the millions.
Yeah.
And deep in the millions, like crossing over into 118 million or something like that. But you must, just like the guy at number one, you're wearing that windbreaker that day.
If anybody has to stop and count how many zeros are on the back of your windbreaker, that's not a... Yeah, although there is Mr. Irrelevant. There is the 257th pick of the NFL draft, and every once in a while, that guy comes out and he ends up being a Tom Brady. You know, what about that guy who's last of the water displacement, but boy, oh boy, 6 months later, Vivid Entertainment offers him up a contract, and that guy can just pound like a beast, you know?
I don't know if Belichick's going to be able to turn that guy around. I don't think so. And then we go international.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got our guys representing number one.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But there's all that, well, obviously not Japan, but there's all the other markets out there. And then there's a big sort of competition to see who displaces the most water.
Yeah.
This is a good idea. And that guy with that number one, the guy gets the number one, and it kind of, you got to picture Evel Knievel's license plate, you know, with that big number one in rainbow tape. The guy, you know what? I'm going to take a step further. The guy who makes number one, all the guys in the top 10 get a jumpsuit. It's a full fucking Evel Knievel. It's like cape and a cane.
They got sponsors on it. Like
your sponsorship up the fucking wazoo. Do you know how much sponsorship? Do you know how much money gay porn would throw at you?
Oh, man.
Jesus Christ. Your life would be changed in an instant. We would also see where anyone in the top 10 moved in the rankings as the 18-year-olds, as the young 18-year-old crop.
Yep.
Some 9 or 10 could get booted out of the top 10. Some could go from 5 to 4. You know, you could slide up a rank. You know, there's going to be rankings.
Yeah, they do it almost like last year's number one has to present to now the new number one. You have to go out on stage and pass that baton a little bit. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of sit-downs.
Yeah.
Guest appearance on The View.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, I mean, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Then we go international.
Oh, now when they go to Africa, do they reuse all of the windbreakers that have been not used in America, and they just refurbish them? It's not going to be a uniform style windbreaker. It's going to be different. One's going to be Guess. One's going to be Massimo. One's going to be.
You mean like the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl jerseys?
Yeah.
T-shirts.
Yeah.
Winner. Right. Yeah. So, by the way, if your nation gets free T-shirts from the team that lost the sport you're not familiar with, that's not a good sign for your nation.
Not at all.
Not a good sign. Not good. That means probably no rocket program, and probably don't make a world-class automobile.
Yeah.
All right, so lower down. Now, look, a lot of people are going, well, you know, what are the rules? Well, the rules are the stainless steel gets lowered down to the top of the beaker and it comes up. Whatever shape you're in is whatever shape you're in. You know what I mean? And then you go, well, but it's a 1/4 inch worth of stainless steel. Yeah, but it's a 1/4 inch for everybody. Everything's the same.
Love that.
We just see how much. Now, look, we have a strong no peeing policy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, empty bladder.
Yeah. Now, actually peeing would hurt your cause. So, yeah, you actually peeing would probably hurt it. But we have it in the blue water. We can see.
Oh, sure.
It's all documented.
Yeah, it's like the Shark Tank, you know. A little urine gets in there.
There's a sanctioning body. I'll be standing there with my clipboard.
Everybody has to eat asparagus before they go out. They take a whiff of the water afterwards.
You want to turn this into a joke? You can, Rudy. But I don't. I'm taking it pretty seriously.
All right, okay, sorry.
Lower down. Peeing's not going to help. There's really nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really nothing's going to help.
Yeah. What about you walk in? What if you go in just a little chubbed up?
Oh, you're going full.
Are you going full? You go full as hard as you can go.
Well, you want to win or not?
Okay, all right.
How do you want you got to picture yourself wearing that windbreaker, that silk windbreaker around with that number on it, and you got to go out that day, and there's no leaving it home. It's going to be strictly enforced.
You know what I love about this? That there's no stolen valor. You cannot, because if you see a guy out in the wild and he's got number 17, and then you go down the street and you see another guy with a number 17, one of them's lying.
Right.
You got to call them out. Be like, one of you two ain't on this list. One of you two are much further down. You got to add a couple commas and zeros into those.
Fellas,
Yep.
I'll meet you in the men's room. Let's get to the bottom of this, because I'm only buying one of you a beer. That would be a competition that would work. Can you imagine the new king crown? Like the guy just turned 18 the day before the competition. Now he's the new guy.
Yeah.
And they'd be interviewed. By the way, his girlfriend would be a celebrity too, because they'd have questions. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. She could sponsor ice packs or something like that.
She'd pick up there. Listen, Madison Avenue would be all over this.
Sure.
There's no doubt. No doubt. That jumpsuit would quickly be adorned with a ton of you'd look like a NASCAR by the time
icy
you're
hot.
done with that. Well, for the ladies.
Yeah, for the ladies. Yeah. You can use icy hot for the ladies. Like inside of the legs must get a little sore, right?
The guys would probably have a lot of supplements, protein powders.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yep. GNC.
Oh, water-soluble lube like Astroglide and stuff like that. This would be a game breaker. And it'd be great at work, when everyone had to wear the jersey in, the silk windbreaker in that day,
Yeah. Now, going back to the Coney Island Nathan's hot dog eating contest, since the stage is already erected, do we do this on the stage? We bring back the winners of the previous year, and everybody's got to go. They got to go. No pun intended. They got to go balls first.
Can you imagine if Joey Chestnut was in the top 10?
Oh man,
you'd be like, "That's the ultimate hero."
Yes,
look at that guy.
Take down
ate 71 hot dogs, and he's cracked the top 10 of the big wang competition.
Yeah, they always just add one more extra hot dog at the end of it.
I think we get Nathan's to sponsor both.
Yeah, why not? The signage is up. What are you going to reprint vinyl signage? Man, this stuff's expensive.
No need to. No. I mean, it's right there.
Love this idea.
There had to be, there's always someone trying to game the system, like F1 style. It's just sort of cheating,
Yeah.
There'd have to be some uncut guys that were putting some kind of absorbent material, tucking it under the foreskin. Yep. We'd have to do a thorough check. Like when the guys come into the UFC and they wipe them down, you know what I mean? They got to put their arms out. They got to feel around, if they got anything in their hair or on their arms, or they're too oiled up or whatever. We'd have to have a ref again, like you're getting in the octagon. Really check the oil. Cannot use too much glycerin or baby oil. Like it'd be like doctoring a baseball. There's always going to be somebody, because this thing is going to get settled by milliliters, like literally tens of thousands of milliliters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The difference between first and ninth could be just whatever would absorb into a Q-tip. You know what I mean? Once we do it at this scale.
Yeah. You'd have to make sure nobody had skin grafts, like they burn their dick and they got a skin graft and they wrap it a couple of times because it plumps it up. Oh, and then the guy who takes the needle. Have you seen the guys who put the needle and they almost inject?
Well, that's why.
And then it pumps up.
They have the natural bodybuilding competitions and then the steroid competitions. If you want to start taking injections and stuff, there's going to be a sanctioning body, but you'll be Mr. Universe, but it'll be of the guys who cheated.
Yeah, you get the asterisk next to your title.
Yeah. Barry Bonds. Have a seat with Barry Bonds. All right. May 8th and 9th. Las Vegas, doing Kimmel Show. 2 shows over there, Friday, Saturday. Then Laugh Factory Covina, that's Thursday, with a guest that will blow your mind. That's all I'm saying, and you will love it, but I cannot say more contractually. Visalia Theater, that'll be Friday the 15th, and then Saturday the 16th, that'll be Modesto at the State Theater. Get some merch. Go to our merch store. We got a lot of cool stuff there. What do you got, Rudy?
This weekend, I'm going to be at King of Prussia in Pennsylvania, and then next week, Netflix is a Joke at the Ice House on May 7th.
So, till next time, Adam Carolla for Rudy Pavich saying mahalo.